Let's look at 9 elements of communism that are much like dog culture. First, we have our state ownership. So, in the communist system, land, machines, building, and infrastructure go to state type goals. So, that's like in dog culture. Check out how they talk about vast numbers of people go out of their homes and into apartments. We have so many people that are homeless or living inside of tiny homes that own dogs, yet we have gigantic facilities to make dog food. We have spas and overnight doggy daycare that is like 5-star luxury. Yet our humans are forced to live in tiny little apartments and work extra hard to support this type of dog worship. I mean, and look what it talks about: an infrastructure project or a factory. So many things out there are actually state owned, but they're made for dogs. Dog parks are paid for by your taxes. Police dogs are paid for by your taxes. So many 501c3 shelter organizations that say they are a charity, they're basically state owned because of the way the tax structure works. They get to do whatever they want, and then the state will not make them pay taxes. They will fund that through collecting taxes from you. And literally thousands of other examples. I did a few in my other videos, but dog culture definitely has a lot of elements of the state ownership. Even this part about personal property. I mean, it's hard to have personal property because the dogs are constantly going on there. Yeah. So how about central planning? So it says here in capitalism system, firms decide what to produce and consumers decide what to buy, known as markets. And communist is created by a system of state planning whereby the state sets the production goals. Well, kind of like with the state owning all the dog type infrastructure and other stuff like that, um, the state is going to tell you what to buy, what are your production targets. If you work at Amazon, if you work at the pet food company, a big part of every day your job is producing and delivering stuff for dogs. If you work in the police department, a big part of your job is responding to dog calls. A big part of everything we do in our system is not necessarily created by as it says here, a free market where firms can freely decide. We don't have a free market when our society is completely full of dogs, and so much of our infrastructure, production, delivery, cleanup, funerals for dogs, cremating dogs, so many of those goals, as it says here, production targets, so many of those goals, they're just going to be automatic. There's going to be no escaping them because we're serving the dog owning culture. We're not allowed to make a free decision to do something other. So, how about the bureaucratic elite? Central planning and state control of all property requires a large bureaucracy. As an ideology, communism claims to make everyone equal. Everyone equal, that's like everybody owning a dog. But in practice, a bureaucratic elite emerges. So that's like, everybody owns dogs, right? Like everybody, if they don't own a dog personally, they're having to deal with their neighbor's dog or something like that. But technically, we all are equal in the way that we all own a dog. We all have some responsibility to adjust our lives for dogs. And so the bureaucratic elite emerges. Yeah, that's like the celebrities that own dogs. They don't have to deal with all this shit. That's like the bureaucratic elite that are in the movies, the politicians that own dogs, like Joe Biden and his German Shepherds that bit the Secret Service. Those people have thousands and thousands of service people working underneath of them to fix all those problems for them. It's like so many celebrities own several pit bulls, and even some of them get bitten by their pit bulls, but they also have a mansion full of service people to take care of those dogs, whereas us, the regular dog owner, we don't have any of that. And so, yeah, with dog culture, we have a bureaucratic elite. We have the people out there that own dogs that have access to all types of resources that your average, everyday, you know, dog owner just doesn't have. Yeah. And it says here, as competition shifts from providing value and innovation to competing for positions within the government, They use dogs to do that too. It's like if you want to be a politician and get everybody's attention without actually having to have anything decent to say, just throw a dog in front of yourself. Just look at Joe Biden and his use of German Shepherds. Despite the fact that they sent government workers to the hospital, those things gained him lots of popularity. Yeah. And now, what about the common good? The profit motive is replaced by a system where the state assigns people to schools and jobs, and labor is required for each state. Each individual must sacrifice their own aspirations and freedoms. You have to sacrifice your aspirations and freedoms to be a dog owner. You have to work harder, put your health and happiness at a lower priority. Dog owners will even brag about this. I'm going to do this with my dog, but not with my wife or husband or my kid. But they call this the common good, though. It's like everybody is expected to be a good, loving, proper, good dog owner. No bad dogs, only bad humans. Yeah. It says here, generally speaking, this is less motivating than freely working to improve things. Yeah, that's true, but with dog ownership, people are very much addicted to their dog. Yeah. So, what about competition? In a communist society, competition exists within the system itself. For example, to become a professional dancer, you must win the approval of the system to do so. Well, dog culture really lowers competition too, because you can just say you're a dog person. Like these people that get busted for pedophilia, some of them use the dog lure. Some of them were dog show, very much loved dog show hosts, and they eliminated the competition, by just being dog owners. Look at me, I have a dog. Just like with my mention within politics or even celebrities, they can easily look better than the other person by just getting a dog and eliminating the competition. It's like this says right here. Everyone's positioning for more powerful or interesting roles. That's what we do out in society too. We're constantly trying to be better dog owners. I'm better than this person. I give my dog Farmer's dog. Well, I'm better than that other person because I'm a responsible dog owner. Everybody is always trying to be in some type of competition, but they're only competing to be better dog owners. It's like it says right here. They're just positioning for more powerful roles, but they're just competing within the narrow scope of look at me, I'm a dog owner. Yeah. What about austerity? So communism is based on this idea of a class struggle whereby the proletariat come to dominate, whereas conspicuous consumption is frowned upon. Now, I know right away a lot of people are going to try to call me out on this because dog ownership is conspicuous consumption, but communists wanted to get rid of that, right? Wrong. Look at this, guys. Widen out your perspective on this one. This is a huge one, in my opinion. Conspicuous consumption is frowned upon. But what is conspicuous consumption in a dog worshipping environment? In our current dog worshipping environment, conspicuous consumption is doing things for yourself and your human family. And that, guys, that is what's frowned upon. That is what is going to give you this right here, punishment. Punishment. If you go out of your way to create a dog free environment, if you get rid of your dog because you're having a baby, if you have a nice, clean house without poop and piss, that is conspicuous consumption. We got this whole conspicuous consumption thing wrong as the way that we compare it to dog culture. In our current environment, conspicuous consumption is doing things for yourself and your human family, and like in communism, that is going to risk you punishment. You will be called an animal hater, whatever, whatever. Yeah. So what about the single party? Communists have historically had a single party system. Political opposition is not permitted. It's an inherent feature of society. Yeah, you cannot go up against the dog worshiping society. It's very much like a single party. All you got to do is get a dog, and then you can fit right in. But if you try, but as it says right here, opposition is not permitted. Yeah, how dare you want to put humans first, you darn dog hater, you? Yeah. How about repression? So opposition and economic freedoms aren't permitted. A communist system may repress these activities. So look at some of these freedoms, guys. Um, Freedom of speech. You can't talk bad about dogs, or you will be, you won't be allowed to have a platform. What about privacy? No, you can't have privacy. You got to listen to dogs bark all frickin' day. What about freedom of movement? Right here. Nope. You can't go to the park or anywhere else without some type of dog problem. What about freedom of association? Yeah, you don't want to associate with somebody that speaks out against dogs, or otherwise you might look bad. I get this with my friends all the time, even guys I served in the Marine Corps with, when I talk about dog bite statistics. They won't even like my posts on Facebook. They won't even talk to me because, I'm always portrayed as some kind of crazy guy. It's like this freedom of religion too. Everybody worships dogs. Yep. But yeah, repression is a huge part of dog ownership. It's Look at this, correct thinking. Yeah, correct thinking is to say that dogs are better. I love dogs. Everybody should have a dog. Yep. And last but not least, what about inefficiency? So markets serve to decentralize trillions of economic decisions. Decentralizing economic decisions is a huge part of this. Every day, people wake up in America. They pay rent for a house that has a dog in it. They keep the heat on for a house that has a dog in it. They put aside their own bills to pay for vet bills, deodorizers, air filters, bandages. What type of food? What type of stuff do they give up buying so that they can buy stuff for their dog? Poor quality products. Just a bunch of overseas made dog collars, chew toys, hair brushes, drops for the dog's eyes, special medicines for the dog's poop because he didn't poop right yesterday. Yeah, um, trillions of economic decisions are just already lined up for everybody in America. Every morning they wake up, their bills, their habits, who they associate with, where they spend their money. It's all about dogs. And of course, this creates inefficiency. I mean, look at dog hoarding. Look at all the money we spend on charity organizations, tax shelters, yet hoarding gets worse and worse. Overbreeding gets worse and worse. Dog violence gets worse and worse. Yeah, inefficiency is a huge one because of the trillions of economic decisions that people they're basically controlled and brainwashed to make every day because they're worshiping a dog that is promoted by the government. So there you guys go. Remember, conspicuous consumption in this dog worship is consuming stuff for yourself, not dogs.